Explorers, coming to you today to talk about the future of travel. So I want to just say at the very beginning that these are my opinions, my thought process, but this is how I think travel will evolve going forward in the future. I recently attended an online webcast with Cornell University where they kind of discuss stats about the coronavirus as well as the travel industry, hospitality, and all this stuff. So I did take some notes and I'm going to mention that during today's video, but I just want to let you know that I have some things that I've gathered from Cornell that either coincided with my thoughts or made me think about other things as well. So let's get to it. So I have 7 things that I think will change now that we're going through this pandemic into the future of travel. Number 1 is cruises. The cruise ships have been taking a beating. They took an extreme beating at the beginning of this pandemic, and they're still, I just read an article that there's a ship finally docking today, and like, that is just too much. For me, I've never been like a big cruise ship person because I like to get out and explore and be in the culture and not just cruise around. Cruise around, relax on the ship. But I can see how that is relaxing and a vacation for others. But now I'm like, that thing is a petri dish. I'd rather be on the plane than a cruise ship. At least the plane has a filtration device. The cruise does not. You're just all stuck together on a boat in the middle of the ocean and you cannot get anywhere. So I think it's going to take a little while for the cruise industry to bounce back. They need to find a way to help clean the ships and get rid of health and illness issues upon the ship. So that's not easily spread. Things are so close on a cruise ship that it can make it really hard to contain that. So they really need to figure that out. And there needs to be some standardized program in place worldwide for cruise ships to be healthy for passengers to get on board. And so I think it's going to take a lot longer for the cruise ships to bounce back. Number two, local. So once things start to open up, I think local travel is going to be a little more wise, as well as it'll probably be easier to do because countries' borders may still be shut down. Also, people may just want to get out and don't really want to travel abroad, and local travel is a little more attainable and you can control it more because you can just hop in a car and get home. It may take longer than a plane, but it's easier to do. Therefore, tourism will still boom a little bit more than what it has been these last few months because you're able to actually go out. You can enjoy an Airbnb experience. You can book a tour via Viator, find any local tours, take the hop on, hop off bus, whatever it is, see all those monuments in a city near you that you haven't been or a town near you. So they even actually mentioned this on Cornell's webcast last week that regional travel may be come to rise quicker than international travel, and quicker meaning like maybe even this year regional travel will start to redeem itself. So if you live in the Midwest, you may travel to another state to go somewhere. Like you may go from Illinois to Ohio, who knows? But I think local travel will be more on up and up quicker than international. Number 3, so in 2019, the amount of people traveling internationally, locally, just travel was up. Everyone was traveling. And some people were traveling not for the good because they may be, destroying wildlife or whatever. And some people were traveling for the good, understanding cultures and giving back to the communities that they were going to. So it's kind of a balance. Oh, and some people were doing it for the gram. We know. But I don't think it's going to get back to those levels for a very, very long time. Like not within the next 5 years. And it may not ever get back that way. They actually talked about this in Cornell's webcast last week that they're predicting that travel may not recover fully until 2022 to 2025, and it still may not reach the levels of 2019. So you're not going to see as many of your people on the gram stunting because I don't know, some people just may not feel comfortable traveling after all this, especially if you got caught in that situation and you're not like a big traveler. You're like, I am over it. Who knows? But I don't think that it will get back to those levels anytime soon. There's going to be a lot that plays into that. Number 4, health considerations. So there are like a few countries, I believe, that may do some health testing when people come into their country, depending on where they come from. And then there's sometimes requirements when you travel certain places. Your home country may require you to get a vaccination. I know I've had to have some when I was traveling for work for a certain time period, depending on which region I was going to. I had to get vaccinations to go to certain countries based on this new virus that has just been taking people out. I feel like a vaccination may be required for people to travel into other countries, which may be a problem for some people because some people do not believe in getting vaccinations. So if that becomes a requirement, those people may not travel anymore, or I don't know what may happen to them if they try to travel and don't get the vaccination. I know I traveled to one country where I needed the yellow fever vaccination. It was a requirement. And when I got to my first gate, my first plane, because I think I had to take 3 or 4 planes to get to my destination, the machine actually went off saying, we need to see your health records. And they had to put that into the system before I could even board my first plane, and then wasn't the plane leaving the country. So that may become a requirement. I don't have a problem with vaccinations. If that's not the case, more countries may do health screenings up on outside residents entering their country. So then you may have longer times in customs when you travel because of these health screenings. So that's something to take in consideration, that health is definitely going to be more on the rise when you travel in the future. I actually recently saw an article, I believe the Emirates airline, they actually started doing health screenings before their passengers boarded their flight to their next destination. So I think that may be on the rise. We shall see. Number 5. So a lot of airlines have been having troubles because they had to cancel flights, and then they had to refund their passengers. And a lot of airlines have been fighting this. So I think that they may try to have policy changes within their governments, try to fight that so they can give you vouchers, because that's taking away money that they could use to help pay their employees or get through the pandemic. I get it. I understand where they're coming from. I work in a corporation as well. So I think the policies may change there, or at least they'll try to fight to have them changed. I don't know how, but I feel like that might be on the horizon. So let's see. Number 6, less availability. And I'm thinking of this in 2 ways. The first way is that a lot of corporations have been trying to cut travel for years. I've been working in a corporation for over 10 years now, and each corporation I've worked for, that's always like a thing. You have to try to lower your travel costs. But now every single corporation in the world has been forced to not travel and do things remotely and do virtual meetings. I think that now that corporations are doing that, they're not going to fly from the US to China, or the US to somewhere in Europe, wherever, I don't know, somewhere else in the world. You're not going to go from one country to the next country to implement something or have a meeting, or just get together with employees from other countries, because you can do it virtually and they know it now. So I think business travel will go down, making airlines having to cut availability. Airlines may also have to cut availability as well, because the normal passenger may not want to fly right now. They may think that it's disgusting to travel on a plane because of what has happened. They may think it's a petri dish. They don't want to be near people. A whole bunch of things. But I feel like the availability of flights will come down, which in turn will not change the prices of flights, if not make flights even more expensive for customers in the future. And number 7, third parties. We're going to see a lot of our third party applications go out of business. There were so many websites that you could go onto to find flight deals, hotel deals, tours, whatever. There was just so many companies. Even the big ones may be in trouble at this point. But I do believe that a lot of the third-party companies are going to go out of business or not have as much availability, not have as much customer service the longer we go through this. I also believe that customers will not find them as reliable, because I have read several stories about people buying tickets through third-party sites, and either they went out of business and left their customers high and dry, they didn't get their money back, they had to fight extremely hard to get their money back, or they just couldn't get it back at all. So it's just like so many things that went wrong with these third-party applications. I think that people will probably more so go and buy their flights directly from the airline going forward. So that will probably decrease as well. No more third parties. I tried to avoid them anyway, but sometimes you just can't. You know, you may find that flight deal on Google Flights, you know, or Momondo or something, and it will take you somewhere else to buy it. Google Flights usually will take you directly to the airline, but you know, Momondo will take you to a third-party application, and yeah, probably won't exist anymore. So those are my 7 things of how I see the future of travel and how it will change. Definitely, it's not going to be the same anymore. And people who have travel in their blood, they're gonna still travel anyway, like me. I just can't wait until the all clear comes to travel. So how do you feel travel will change in the future? I wanna hear down below. Place it in the comment box. And thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, make sure you share this video with your friends, family, and social media networks so they can get into the discussion as well about the future of travel. And lastly, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified when next week's video comes out. Videos come out every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever in the world you are, and stay healthy.